Well, I think the method, just to talk about the method of a magic effect, has to be as simple as possible. That doesn't mean the easiest, but simple means direct. So if you say, you know, that there are 15 steps to make one effect happen, we have to stop and say, well, 15 steps is a lot. Why can't we do it in 2, maybe 1, or maybe even almost none? So I think it's very important to keep things simple, but simple doesn't mean easy. Sometimes the best way is to deal a card out of the middle of the deck. That's a lot of work and a lot of effort. Maybe it's okay to not do that much effort. But all of this is pointless if the effect isn't really, really good and that people won't respond to it. And not magicians, because we respond to things that lay people, you know, normal people, they will really love something that we think is terrible. How many of us don't like the bunnies? But I do the bunnies, you know, with the little rabbits in the hand. And why do I do it? I do it because J.C. Wagner made me promise before he died that I would do it. And he's right. But I do it in a way where I tell the audience that I don't like this trick, but my friend made me promise, and I do it for them. And they love it. But the method is so simple. And there are so many complicated ways to load things and put things. But I keep it simple and direct. If it gets too simple, then it fails to be deceptive and won't fool anybody. But if you keep it simple and elegant, you know, if the method is as beautiful as the effect, you know, like with Triumph or most Divernon material, if the method is as beautiful and elegant as the effect, then you have something wonderful. But not if the effect isn't a good one. My definition of good magic is I learned it from Tamariz. And it has to be something that is fascinating, but completely impossible. But fascinating is the most important thing. I have to be able to say there's something, you know, that will make people think, oh wow, I want to see that, and then I have to live up to that. So you say, you know, I want to show you something that you'll never forget. Well, if I then just make a coin vanish, they'll probably forget that eventually. But you know, if that coin is signed and it vanishes, and maybe they feel it disappear inside a handkerchief, and then they reach into their pocket and it's there, and I tell them a story about how we both went back into time and you spent some money and it was your coin all along, but you've forgotten. These stories activate in the mind the imagination, and even though I made a coin vanish and I snuck it into their pocket, the imagination does everything else. So fascination is everything. And I just try and keep it interesting. And every trick I learn, every trick I develop, sometimes it's just a great trick and I'm hoping somebody else will make a great effect from it. But sometimes I look at a trick and I say, if I didn't know anything about magic, if I was just that kid when I was a child who loved watching magic, what would I want to make me love that before even wondering how it was done? And that's the key. Fascination, and as impossible as you can make it. And then learn to be fascinating and make things seem impossible.